Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to today's Harmonize to Energize. My name is Terry Matthews. I work remotely on behalf of the Mary Burmeister Jin Shin Jyutsu Institute, which is the authentic source of the art of Jin Shin Jyutsu in the world. Jin Shin Jyutsu is an art of harmonizing life energy in the body, and we do that by placing our hands on what we call safety energy locks, which are left and right of the spine. They're normally about our unique palm size, width in dimension, and when we place our hands on them, they can release and harmonize tensions in our soul, heart, mind, and body. So welcome everybody. Well, I hope you've been having a good day wherever you are, whatever time of day it is. I hope you're also been having a good week. So before we begin today's menu, if you like, let's have a quick look at the Jin Shin Jyutsu website, especially for those who are brand new to Jin Shin Jyutsu and you want to find out a little bit more about who we are, what we do, etc., etc. And I just want to add here that Jin Shin Jyutsu is not a substitute for any medical or other preventative care. It is a complement. Anyway, without further ado, let's have a look at the Jin Shin Jyutsu website. And here it is, www.jsjinc.net. And here is the website with all the menu links and a little bit about Jin Shin Jyutsu's past, a little bit about previous courses and the upcoming in-person and online events. In terms of in-person, we've had very few due, as most people realize, to the COVID-19 pandemic. But we are hoping, we are wishing, and we are putting all our harmonious energy towards live classes in America. And one that will be coming up is Tuesday, June the 7th through Saturday, June the 11th in Southern Oregon. And this will be a class taught by Jill Pasquinelli. It's not promoted on the homepage at this point, but I'll just give those of you that might be wanting to add their third class, third 5-day class, because currently with the pandemic, the new prerequisites to become an authorized practitioner with Mary Burmeister Jin Shin Jyutsu is 2 live classes, and they can be replays of webinars, plus 1 live classes. And I know a lot of you have been asking, well, when do we get to do a live class? Do we have to go to Europe to study? No. All going well, all things being equal. As I said, in June, there is a live class planned in Oregon. And let's have a quick look at it. The quickest way I'm minded to tell you is to go to the classes menu and go to search by location. And then look up, go down, scroll down, Oregon on the map. And there you have it, Oregon classes, basic seminar, 5 days, talent, Oregon. Instructor Jill, no prerequisites, everyone is welcome, and there are the dates. Probably an important thing for everyone to realize is the class size is limited to 47. So if you want to take a live class, I would sign up now. Your organizers are Debbie Rappaport, the information is there, and your co-organizer, Carrie Voorhees. So here's all the information you need. There's a class flyer there, and there are the fees. The early bird which is indicated here, ends on April the 8th. So if you want to get a reduced rate, then I would click on there. All right. So that is that. And then we have, let's return to, no, too far. Other classes that are ongoing. This is an online one, the basic seminar, another name for the 5-day seminar, if you want to learn to be a practitioner, has started already. It started on March the 16th, but this is something which you can sign up for at any time. Ioli Liebenstein is the instructor. It's every Wednesday. There's some pre-recorded lessons, and it's going on from March the 16th to June the 8th. This is a format that Ioli has successfully used for several years now. And for those of you that don't have the time to spend 5 days in a row, etc., or prefer to pace their study, this would be ideal for you. All the information is there. There's all the registration. Your organizer, Barbara Unterberger, in Austria. You can phone or email Barbara. And finishing Saturday is the introduction to the core principles of Jin Shin Jyutsu. This is a class similar in respect to the self-help class in that it creates a foundation for anybody who wants to explore Jin Shin Jyutsu at the very foundational level. And all the information is there and what you're going to learn and the dates and times, etc., etc. Each day is 3 hours with a half-hour break, and you get 3 months access to online replay. Here's your team, your organizers, and the email. If you've missed any of our offerings, you go further down, scroll down, Jin Shin Jyutsu online offerings. You can click on these links here and find out all the information and fees. Okay, so that's that. And here I am again. So, as we will now continue, we had been exploring the safety energy locks by reading some of the perspectives of Jin Shin Jyutsu instructors, previous and current, from the compilation of the main central 0 to 26. And we'd reached safety energy lock 18, which is on the mediator flow, which is basically another word for harmonizing left and right sides of the body by crossing over energetically left to right, right to left. There is an energy pathway which brings left and right energies back to the spinal energy, otherwise known as the main central. When the mediator is out of harmony, you normally find you're prone to emotional responses which are a little unharmonious. Anyway, let's have a look at Safety Energy Lock 19, which is actually on that mediator flow, and the perspectives of a past and present teacher. The first perspective comes from Safety Energy Lock 19. The first perspective comes from Matthias Roth. And he says, Safety Energy Lock 19, meaning authority and leadership. Cross your arms before your chest, gently hold your elbows and drop your shoulders as you do. Relax and look out into the world from this place of security. And I think we've often found ourselves spontaneously, naturally doing this on occasion, you know. And just relax those shoulders and see what that feels like. Here your fingers, or your thumbs go into the tendons. I mean, the 19 could be said to be thumb side and little finger side because it's in that whole elbow joint between the tendons either side. And you can hold them just like this and see how that feels. See what energy it draws and what responses it draws into you. So the 19 is a space of power that allows you to be all you need to be and still not step on anybody's toes. Now, if you're someone who has an issue around boundaries and not wanting to appear to be totally overwhelming everybody else, you could experiment by exhaling, dropping your shoulders and holding your 19s. 19 symbolizes the body, which then seems to be the home and seat of natural authority, which is what we were talking about here. 19's meaning of perfect balance rounds off the picture of the gentle authority it is. He goes on to say, as collective intelligence, 19 helps you be all you need to be and still keep perfect balance with all. All-inclusive color, white. The sun. 19 is one of those safety energy locks that by empowering you will allow all others to become empowered. Empowered one, empower all. And all can be harmonized in the thumb. So thumbs up. Jed Schwartz. Webster's dictionary describes authority and leadership in life as power, obedience, the right to command, the power to influence thoughts, opinions, and outward behaviors of others. This speaks to how 19 harmonizes our waistline and safety energy locks 14, 23, and 9. Yes, every safety energy lock has a corresponding influence on other safety energy locks, partly due to the position it's in and the relationship of what area of the body it affects. So Jed goes on to say, when these safety energy locks, 14, 23, and 9, are harmonized, we can have the awareness of how 19 actually allows us to have this personal authority. So in a sense, what he's saying is harmonize your 14, your 9, and your 23, and then you'll really understand the power and authority of the 19. So that's something you might want to experiment with. 19 is 1 and 9 is 10, which gives abundance in life to be. 1 and 0, 10 equals the oneness, the unity with everything. And here's a little piece about a label. Recently, I had a client with a label of severe carpal tunnel syndrome in both wrists. Being a skeptic, he doubted the effectiveness of a simple jumper cabling of safety energy lock 19 and 11. Within 15 minutes, to his elation, the pain and immobility were gone. 19 is dynamic. There you have it. Now let's, last but not least, the first should be last and the last should be first, what Mary said in Self-Help Book 2, page 49. She again mentions 19 came into the universe, meaning authority and leadership, perfect balance. And by applying our hands to the 19, we can recharge the energy battery, harmonize the left side of the body with the right side for easier breathing, good digestion, and general well-being. Helps backaches, chest, lungs and breasts, congestions. And then she gives us ways of harmonizing the 19. So as we do when we're not having guest presenters, mystery presenters, we're going to practice some self-help, helping us to open Safety Energy Lock 19. And I do it with 4 sets of 9 exhalation inhalations, totaling the 36 breaths, which was a system that Mary introduced. The number 9 represents end of a cycle, beginning of a new. 3 and 6 breaks down to a 9. A breath in Jin Shin Jyutsu is an exhalation down the front from the back of the head, safety energy lock 4, through the groin area, the 15, down to the big toes, and then back up from the big toes through that groin area, 15, and the back there, the 2, back up to the 4. As we exhale, we're dropping our shoulders, letting go of that what we don't need in order to build something new. And then we inhale the cosmic purified energy to clean once more what we've now created. So there's this continual creation and purification going on. But in order to create, we have to begin by letting go in Jin Shin Jyutsu, which is the exhale. So if you are not used to exhaling, any new people, it becomes something that you need to practice a bit before it becomes conscious. But we don't have any particular technique of the breath in terms of in through the nose or out through the mouth. You just breathe naturally as what comes easily and smoothly to you. And the first technique, the first practice of 9 exhalations, inhalations, is going to be holding the 19s like I showed at the beginning. And you just place your fingers in the elbow between the tendons. You can go to this side, the little finger side, or the radial side, the thumb side, and just cross your arms, just like Matthias said. And, you can place them underneath your rib cage, wherever it feels comfortable. And we'll begin. So just sit up as straight as you can and keep your back as straight as you can. The 19 will help the back, as we heard earlier. But if you have severe back issues, you might want to put a cush between your back and your chair or wherever you're sitting to give that extra bit of support. Stun your cell phones. In other words, turn them off. And remain as in an environment which is as peaceful as possible, if possible. Close eyes. Drop those shoulders. Bow your head slightly. This invites extra energy to move in through the back of the head, the fours, the window that lets in more light and energy. And then breathe out. And we'll do this 9 times. Here we go. The energy goes down from the head, through those 19s in the elbow, to the 15s, to the big toes, reaches Mother Earth. And then it's cleansed and purified on the return journey by the inhale, which moves back up from the big toes, from the earth through the big toes, up through the pelvic girdle area, really, 15 and 2, up through the back, through the 19s, and then up through the 4s. That's 1 breath. 8 more times. Here we go. And perhaps as you're practicing this, you'll notice a sense of calm. Because 19 works with waistline 1423, which is the mind and all those thoughts that can spiral around. As we release blockages within this body space, the waistline, the energy can move down more easily, and we can become calmer. C-A-L-M-E-R, not K-A-R-M-A. I will say this though, the calmer you become, the less likely that disharmonious or unharmonious karma with a K is going to affect you. And that understanding is the law of cause and effect. Our thoughts become words, become deeds, as in Jin Shin Jyutsu, bust line, waistline, hip line. But we can take responsibility for any of the less harmonious thoughts and words and deeds by doing these simple exercises to remove the blockages that those disharmonies may have created in our soul, heart, mind, and body. So we have some keys to the kingdom, as Mary might say, via the 26 safety energy locks and the practices to harmonize them. And as you reach the 9th exhalation, inhalation in your own time, just pause and observe. I like to think of this as the neutral in the gear. When you're in neutral gear, you're not moving forward or backwards, left or right. You're just an observer. Just experience where you are now and what you're feeling now, and where you might be feeling it in your body. The observer. And then Mary in Safety Energy Self-Help Book 2, over the page 50, she talks about harmonizing the 19 by holding thumbs, left or right. So just do a little bit of research on the sides of either thumb or both to see which one feels a little bit more tender than the other. That's your invitation to hold them. And you can just wrap your fingers around like this and then place your hands together in the center 15 pube area. Keep your back straight, drop shoulders, close eyes, 9 exhalations, inhalations. And what you're ultimately going to hear or wait for is a sense that energy is flowing wherever you're holding. And it's just like the blood pulse that you would feel at the radial artery. I wouldn't get too caught up in your mind about, I didn't feel the pulse. Although Mary gave the 9 exhalation inhalations, the 36 breaths, you personally may need more multiples of 9 before you feel that pulse. It's just like the blood pulse. The blood follows the energy. We're listening for energy, but really they're interchangeable because that's what we first notice is the blood pulse following the energy. So down, 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 letting go of what we don't need and trusting that we can put our mind into neutral zone, have a vacation, and feel our connection from head to toe, skin to bone, or from heaven to earth. Heaven the head, earth the feet. And the bridge between, in this case, the 15s. Feel the peace, if that's what's arising within you. As the 19s begin to align you with your natural authority, which is not bossiness, it's just knowing what you know and being who you are in a very earthed, grounded, connected fashion. And we learned that 9 and 1, well, we know that 9 and 1 is 10, and 10 relates to bus line heart. So when we're in true authority, we're actually coming from our heart field, the wisdom of the heart. And the art of Jin Shin Jyutsu is an art of compassion, and compassion is a quality of the heart, compassion for others, compassion for yourself. It's really like empathy. Be empathic to yourself and to others. All right, that's the second set of 9 exhalation inhalations. Just observe where and how you feel. Maybe you do or you don't feel the pulse. Worry about it. By the way, the thumb harmonizes worry, spleen and stomach. Third practice here, we're going to hold the 19, one arm and the opposite thigh, okay, which is like the high one. So you're like this, or it could be the other one. Right hand on the left, and then, oops. This one I did already. I meant to do this one. Nearly falling over. Madness. It's not even midday. Mad dogs and Englishmen go out in the midday sun, according to a well-known poet, and I'm certainly an Englishman in this life. So we're going to hold this 119 with the opposite thigh. Close eyes, drop shoulders. Exhale. Eight more times. And as we harmonize the energy locks, the 19 with this opposite thigh, again a 1, a high 1. An energy perhaps of abundance begins to circulate through us. The little self, or the ego self, the mind, begins to move towards the universal self, begins to blend. And that, my friends, in my understanding, is when the two become one, that's when we know we're beginning to radiate the calm, the joy, the wisdom of our true spirit, the universal consciousness. How the Creator sees is nothing more than our connection with the universal consciousness. No judgment, the mind is calm. We become closer to being one with all that is. Some call it the quantum field. Others subdivided into different levels of consciousness, cosmic, unity, Brahman, all these terms that you might hear. Different frequencies of light and vibration, which we can perceive. Once we are relaxed enough to allow that perception to fully incorporate itself within us. Note the terms within us. And once we become calmer, it's possible that others around us will feel the effect and radiate similar calmness. Get the 100th monkey effect if 100 or more people are calm. The Maharishi effect, the 1% effect. In my early days, I still do practice transcendental meditation, but in my early days, this was something I used to practice with large groups of people, which incidentally is a good idea doing self-help like this, because we all build the field, we expand the field. Where many are gathered, I am there in greater force field, greater field. That's a biblical quote for those that are not aware. All right, when you come to the 9th exhalation, inhalation, the last but not least, you can choose any one of those techniques, this one, or the last one, or you can do what I like to do. Simple Simon says, give yourself a hug, and you place your thumbs underneath, of course we're using the thumbs here, underneath the shoulder girdle and the fingers on the side of the shoulder blade. You can do them both at the same time, or you can take away one and place that back on that thigh that you just used. Probably same side would be more comfortable. And do 9 exhalation inhalations. Here we go. Close eyes, drop shoulders. And when you reach the 9th exhalation, inhalation, that's your 36 breaths. See how you feel. You're a different person, or at least hopefully you're a different person than you were 36 breaths ago. And hopefully some of the stresses and strains that you may have accumulated during the week or during your life have begun to just melt away. So let's have a quick look. 5 minutes left here. Any questions from anybody? Hello, Liz, and hello, everybody else. Yeah, Nancy, yes, I think the question was answered there. That 5-day live class is in Talent in Oregon. Okay. Yes, spring is indeed here. I just wanted to mention some of you may well have heard that the 2-hour webinar on questions on text one has been cancelled stroke postponed. That was with Magella Delaney and Maria Miniella. That will be rescheduled in the future. And so look out for that. Those of you that are not aware of it, we do have a Facebook page where yours truly keeps you up to date on what's going on. And we have all the current events, current classes, quotes and all on the Facebook page. Some of you are attending the Wednesday, the new meditation on Wednesday with faculty for peace in Ukraine. Just keep peace in your heart, my friends, as much as you can. These are challenging times, there's no doubt about it, but you have your fingers and your breath and your holds, and you can practice them mostly any time. And you can do them standing, sitting, or laying down, last thing at night, this, that, and the other. And as you do it more and more, those blockages just recede. And we can't always expect challenges to disappear overnight. It can be incremental. But then sometimes it does appear as though they've absolved overnight. Wonderful. Just be happy with what is. As Mary would say, as it is, it is. And then we can move toward a greater expansion of consciousness, a greater sense of acceptance of what is, compassion to ourselves and others, and natural leadership and natural authority comes from acceptance, allowing the ego self to take its appropriate place within an amalgamation of the universal consciousness. So that's it from me for this week. Thank you very much for joining. And I look forward to seeing or hearing at least, or reading at least, most of you next Friday. I can't make up my mind, can I? So take care. Auf Wiedersehen, au revoir, cheerio, bye-bye. And I think next Friday we got the mystery presenter syndrome back. And I'm looking forward to that. And there'll be some stories being shared of inspiration, hopefully to you, using Jin Shin Jyutsu either with other folks or animals or even plants. I'm waiting for someone to wave their hand and say they want to talk about working with the plant kingdom. Why not? So anyway, until then, take care and be well, and blessings to you all. Oh, Taj, sorry, I just saw another question. We've got 1 minute. Please review the breath pattern. You exhale from the 4, which is the occiput, over the head, all the way down through the 15s, the groin, to the big toes. I'm not going to lift them up. You exhale down the front, 4, 15, and 7, and then inhale 7, 15, and 4 up the back. That's it. It's a whole body breath. Just practice it by yourself. Mary would say, man's best friend to man's best friend, dog to God. And that's the relationship of the alphabet to the number of the safety energy log. All right. Diana, your cat snuck in and fell asleep. Yes, well, cats pick up on the energy and they love it. But of course, if you want to induce it yourself by placing your hand on a cat, it's always interesting, I find. They tend to be like young kids. They kind of know when enough's enough, and they'll wriggle. Bye-bye. All right, enough from me. I don't think there's any more questions. I don't think so. Yeah. All right. Galena, how do you get on a Wednesday? Gosh, I keep finding questions well, it's only 11:40. I always post on Facebook the link, and Jed, I think it is, had sent how you can register as one of the links too. So there's a link to the YouTube because they're actually presenting on YouTube, and there's also a link of how you can register so you're always informed of when they're happening. So go to the Facebook page. Yes, that's it. No more questions. All right, I'm done. I really am. I'm going now. I promise I am. Cheerio, everyone.